Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And myself, your host Pabitra, who is working as an Azure Cloud Engineer at Microsoft, is going to talk about another topic today on how to configure subscriptions on Azure. And this is another topic which is covered in az-104 series. So let's start. So the learning objectives will be determining the correct region to locate Azure services, review features and use cases for Azure subscriptions, obtain an Azure subscription, understand billing and feature for different Azure subscriptions, use Microsoft Cost Management for cost analysis, discover when to use Azure resource tagging, and identify ways to reduce the cost. Moving on to the next slide. Here you have to identify the Azure regions. So there are lots of regions like Canada Central, West Europe, Australia East, and Southeast Asia, East Asia, the Central India, East India. Then you have multiple different regions. So based on your requirement, you can choose them. So for example, they are like different neighborhoods, but with the different own names. And here what you should know about these regions. So Azure has these tech warehouses in more than 60 plus regions all over the world, and Azure has more regions than any other cloud company that gives Microsoft an edge over other cloud providers. And these regions helps to keep your stuffs near to you, and it also makes things faster, right? Like if you want to deploy a VM, you are creating a application stack, and you want to have those services right in front of you, like in your region where you are currently residing. Like suppose you are from Southeast Asia and you want to deploy resources, it should be placed in Southeast Asia. Then Azure gives you that flexibility to choose the region of your choice. And if you are suppose expanding and your business is now in US, you can also choose regions from US, and you can deploy your resources there, so that it will make the accessibility more faster for customers who are based in that particular region. Based on your requirement, you can choose any of these regions. And an important factor is that the data in cloud is always safe and follows all the rules which are prevalent in your country, like GDPR and all. You can check for more information Microsoft website, where you will get more info. The next slide talks about finding regions for your business geography. You can go to this Microsoft's documentation, which is there on the Microsoft official links, and you can find out like which all regions are supported, where your business is, and based on that you can choose the regions from the list of regions available from this page. So implementing Azure subscriptions. Now we are going to talk about Azure subscription. So imagine, like Azure subscription is like a ticket to you. Like if you have that ticket, then you can go on to the cloud world and you can experience all the services which are offered by Azure Cloud. And that is not limited to Microsoft Azure, but it is also same for any other cloud provider. Then a cloud account. So you always need an ID, right? So a cloud ID is something which helps you to identify you. Who are you? It authorizes. It helps us to identify the valid person who is trying to access. Can be your work account, can be your school account if you are in school right now. So any of these accounts you can have. And why subscription matter? So subscriptions helps you keep things organized, because whatever you deploy in Azure Cloud, it will be tied to subscriptions. Subscription will be on top. We can take example of this. I just make it big, I can show you how it is. You see, Azure account. So this is your Azure subscription for suppose this is your account. This is the ID also, you can say. Like with this account you have created in Azure Cloud. Now you have created subscriptions, dev subscriptions, production. You have given anybody joining your team or your company can be moved into these subscriptions based on their roles and responsibilities. Or suppose you have a test engineer. So all the test engineers will be added into test subscription. If you have a development engineer or a product engineer, who will be part of the production subscription. So if those guys creating any resources in test subscriptions or working as a test engineer, then the billing, the resource utilization, and all these details will be available to you under this subscription, and billing will happen separately for separate subscription. This subscription, test subscription will have a different bill, production subscription will have a different bill. And whatever resources are deployed in this subscription, the account owner will have complete overview of the spending, the consumption of the resources will be very easily managed and tracked under the subscription. It is very separate, and this is how you can best manage the spending and how much you are utilizing as well. So you can study that and you can do your cost analysis. Now going back to the points, things you should remember, like each cloud services belongs to a subscription. Okay. And you can have different payment methods. So credit card or any free transaction, any different, whichever country you are and how many types of payment services are offered. You can have multiple ways of getting billed. So one account can be linked to several subscriptions. Like here you can see one account is linked to 7 subscriptions. And similarly, one subscription can have more than one account. Dev subscription can have 3-4 accounts as well. That is, you pay for each subscription separately. All these subscriptions will be separate. And some cloud jobs need a special ID. So you have to identify, or you can check in the Microsoft documentation which are the cloud jobs which need a special ID. And you know, right, like you just have to figure out how many subscriptions do you based on your requirements. Here it is a classic example, like dev subscription, test subscription, production subscription is always needed for a engineering company. So similarly, based on your company type, you can select a subscription. Then you have to figure out what type of cloud account you need. You can use Microsoft Entra ID or Entra or directory that is trusted by Microsoft. Like work or school account. You can have multiple subscriptions for different types of projects already. But there are some shared resources, shared services which can be isolated from all the other workloads, like Express Shout and Virtual WAN. These are generally used by multiple resources, be it in whichever subscription they are in. Just be careful of using these. Shared services subscription keep common things together. This point is very important. And how you can use or how the shared resources can be allocated in a single subscription, and you have to plan that. Using shared services subscription ensures all common network resources are built together, and isolated from other workloads. This point you have to be very careful with. Just keep in mind. And you need to use your cloud ID to use all these resources. Every subscription can be associated with Microsoft Entra ID. That is mandatory. And users and services authenticate with Microsoft Entra ID before they access the resource. Now, Microsoft Entra ID is Azure Active Directory. You can use Microsoft Entra ID, create a user. You can have more access control via Microsoft ID. You can explore that. I have also created a video in my earlier series, so you can just take a look. How you can obtain Azure subscription? There are multiple ways: enterprise agreement, Microsoft reseller, Microsoft partner, personal free accounts. So enterprise agreement is like a very big company, like I can say, right, Amazon, not Amazon, yeah. Any big companies you can take, like Pepsi or Coca-Cola, and then we have multiple different companies like Bank of North America, or we can see any big bank or any big retailer company like Flipkart. All these companies will be coming into an agreement with Microsoft, and they'll purchase this enterprise agreement because of their size. They're really big and huge, and they also get a lot of bonuses and a lot of promotional offers because they are actually taking up or spending a lot. Right? Like, you are paying a lot, you get preferential services from the company. Then comes Microsoft reseller. People who take licenses from Microsoft and then resell it to some other people. They generally get some commission, and if you are a small company just starting up, generally we buy it from Microsoft. Then we have Microsoft partner. Like we have big consulting companies like TCS, Accenture, IBM, So these companies have a good client base, and what they do is like they partner with Microsoft. They have these licenses. They also get again a lot of benefits, and they work very closely with Microsoft, and they offer our cloud offerings to these clients directly. And then we have personal free account, which is the trial account. You can just take it up as 30-day trial account for yourself if you are a student and you are learning. So these Azure subscriptions are very necessary and a mandatory thing in order for you to access Azure Cloud. And it is very important and the very first step to have a subscription before you even start your cloud. Next topic is identify Azure subscription usage. Now you have to find out what is the subscription usage. For that, we have talked about like how you can get an Azure subscription. What are the different types are there? Based on your requirement, you can choose any type of subscription. So for beginners, you can have free subscriptions, which is a free trial, 30 months, first month, and all the cool stuffs. Then there is pay as you go. So if you are someone who knows like, okay, I can pay the amount based on my requirements. So right now I'm just setting up my company. You do not have proper understanding on how much you want to spend. So you can just utilize the number of resources and you will be paid for the resources which you are using. And then there is enterprise agreement. All the big companies generally go for this enterprise agreement. And there is a student subscription. If you are a student, if you are like trying to learn, what exactly is like this is if you want to learn and understand this Azure Cloud, then you can generally use this subscription. Then implement Microsoft cost management. Cost management is also one of the main topic in this subscription part. So cost management generally helps you with all the spending you are making and how much you have spent so far. It gives you some analysis. Microsoft now has integrated AI to it, so you will get more into like advisors services from Microsoft that, okay, you are paying this much for these resources. This can be saved if you used this series of VM. So generally it is for management. How much you are spending and how can you save cost where your money is spending. So it's generally like offers cost management reports, expense organizations, data integration and exports using cost management, all these things. So these points are provide a very simple and concise overview of Microsoft's cost management and its key feature. So cost management reports, like here you can download the reports and then you can study in Excel sheet. Then data integration and export, like you can integrate with some other application which can fetch this report like Power BI and all. Need more information, or you can customize, add filter and all. Then while using cost management, it doesn't use any extra information, but it gives you more information on your Azure spending, on your subscription. It gives good information only about your cost, like the money which you are spending. So for that particular subscription, you can have a look at that. And if you have multiple subscriptions and you are using the same account, you can see all the other subscriptions and their cost. This is how it looks. October month, how your spending got increased. The charts, what all services are using. Then comes apply Azure resource tagging. So resource tagging is very important and helpful when you have big number of resources in your environment, where you can tag them based on their the role they play. Like you have again production and you have development, right? So if you have production, then like see here it gives you an example. Like each tag has a name and a value. So for example, server can be production and server can be deployment. Server is the name, value is development or production. In this way, you can easily identify which resource is for what, and just by clicking on the tags, you can see all the development servers and all the production servers. It helps the management of the resources in Azure Cloud very well for the cloud engineers or any professional, IT professional. Azure. So tags helps organize Azure resources logically. They're used for sorting in analysis. That is what it is. It has name and value. Server is the name, production is the value. And then characteristics, tag name stays the same for all the resources they are applied to. Because you have to have a naming standard, right? If you change the tag's name, then what's the use? If you put tags as production, similarly, you have to give the same tag for all the production servers. Not change the name. It has to be same. Then tag name can be predefined or unique. That's no. Each resource or group can have up to 50 tags there. This is an important thing. And again, inheritance, tags on resource group do not automatically apply to resources within them. You have to give the tag name whenever you are deploying. Like you are deploying via Terraform or ARM template also, you have to mention the tag name. You have to give the value. In practical uses, search for resources using tag name and value. You can easily search using the tag name. You can find related resources in different groups with tags. You can also group resources for billing by cost center and environment. Like dev environment can have these dev servers for this purpose. So you can have a better overview on the cost man. Then the tags can be created via PowerShell or CNN. I told you, right, when you are doing deployment via Terraform or any ARM templates or any other custom way, you have to mention the tags and give the value. These points have pretty much explaining what is tags is used for, like its purpose and structure and practical application. So based on this, you can it. Now I'll tell you. Have a look. This is how tags looks. Go to job portal. Click on tags, is the name and value. Here's what you have to give server as name. Value is production or development as per your requirement. I hope you guys are understanding well. Now I'm coming to the next topic is apply cost savings. Cost savings is the main, I would say, gist of this subscription. How you can apply cost savings. So this is very important, right? Everybody is very concerned about the spending. In cloud, there is a saying, if you want to go bankrupt, you just keep the cloud resources up and running and you will see the bills and you may automatically go bankrupt. You have to be very careful and you have to apply these cost savings. So the key points here are also reservations. So pay upfront for resources like virtual machines, databases, and get 72% on your usage. 72% discount on your use. If you know that you are going to stay there, you are going to use these resources for this much amount of time, you can do these reservations. It will give you a good discount. That is 72% up to discount. That is huge, right? And there will be no impact on your resource function. Azure hybrid benefits, so it maximizes the savings because if you have licenses with software assurance, then you can get some discounts. It's like you will be getting extra value for your on-premise Windows Server or SQL Server licenses when moving to Azure. You already have purchased licenses for your on-premises SQL Server and virtual machines. Similarly, if you have those, then you can take benefit of Azure hybrid benefits. We'll give you some offers and discounts. And Azure credits, use monthly credits for development and testing without extra charges. If you have a Visual Studio subscription, then you can apply for Azure credit. It's like Azure personal sandbox we generally have during our on-prem environment, right? We used to create virtual machines and used to play around. So similar to that, if you already have a Visual Studio subscription, then you can ask for Azure. Then we have Azure regions. So you can compare the price. The has a different pricing. So if you are someone who is okay with some performance and okay with the rules and policies, then you can check with the resource, the region. So some regions like Central India and East India might have some low cost, but East US may have more cost. And that also depends on a lot of different factors because there are multiple things which comes into the picture like latency and all these things. You can consider them, and based on which region is cheaper to you, you can opt that option as. And pricing calculator, Microsoft provides you a pricing calculator on the Azure portal. You can just simply go and check which resource you want to pick. Based on that, you will see the pricing coming up, and you can put it into your Excel sheet, and you can go for an approval within your management, and if you get approved, you can put it done. So these were the main points. I'll just show you how. Just select the region, OS, type, year, and instance, get the how much you is out. So the prices may vary and it changes all the time. You have to just yourself. So yeah, I'm almost done now. Let me show you something. Now I'm inside. Now I'm onto my Azure portal, and I'll be logging onto my subscription. And here, if I click on cost analysis, this is where you will be able to see the expenditure. I am seeing the cost. Awaiting. Thank you for your cost. Forecast cost is well. Haven't incurred yet, but so actual cost is this much, and this is the forecast. Like it happened. Then you see service name, Azure Firewall, virtual machine is $54. Azure Bastion is using. Storage is using 8.78, and AKS is using $6. Like that. You can also have location-wise spends. UK South Central I have deployed and have resources, and I have built this much. UK South I've been built this much. Like region-wise also can have more information. And then resource group names. So which resource group I'm spending more? Networks, AS Firewall is 4. In this way, you can also have a look at your resource group and pick. Then you can set up cost alerts. So here right now there is no alert, but I can create one. I have to click on add. At time I have set as anomaly, add on a, and I have given the name as cost anomaly detect. I have given my email ID there. English, alert. For was name. Third name is day for resource. Okay. Click on create. All is clear. Now I'll be notified. If there is anything done, like click on learn more. You just get to know. Use cost alerts to monitor usage and spending. Generally, budget alerts helps you notify when the spending based on your cost reaches or exceeds the amount defined. So generally, you can have more overview on how much you are spending. This is what it does. You see, these are the cost alerts which actual greater than 90%, and this way you can create alerts, and you can have more control on yours. That is what is the main agenda behind having cost alerts. Okay, we go back, and now if I go to budgets, I can set up a budget. My choice. Click on add, then give. I give monthly budget, then I sell it. I just selected the billing period. So this is, you see, in the November month. Then I can simply create then grace period, monthly, and amount. Mention products. See, this is my budget. If I click on next, let's just give my LID. Go to resource groups. Then go to tasks. If I have added tags to even the resource group as well. Initially, I have added the tags to the resources. I have also added tags to the resource group as well. I go to O. Now you see, environment is testing. As it server is crawled. I go to tags. Just type here server. Okay. I get the team server dev and server prod. If I just click on prod here, it will give me the list of all VMs which are tagged to this value prod, server prod. So if you want to add more, then you have to give the same naming convention, or you have to add the same value to all the other VMs as well. So I hope I have covered, and even I have showed you cost analysis. So I believe you liked my video, and if you did like my video, and if you do want to follow this course with me, then do subscribe my channel, because it supports me, it gives me the strength, and it motivates me to make more videos and give you this information for free. And I hope you guys liked this video and found it informational. If you liked it, then I would request you to please subscribe and like, share the channel.